Hello there. The rats really are lining up to leave the sinking ship, aren't they? Or should I say, lining up to leave the sinking party? Now, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and then like and comment below. So yet another Tory MP decides it's time to declare that they won't be standing at the next general election, whenever that is, and it could be as late as January 2025. And this time it's former Health Secretary Sajid Javid. And it comes as the Chester by-election results come in with a thumping victory for Labour. And Javid adds to the exodus of young and high-profile Tory MPs who have decided that this slump their party is in is probably here to stay, barring some political miracle, that is. And this has been brought on by a deadline of December the 5th for MPs to inform the Conservative Party if they intend to stand again. Now it seems that every excuse under the sun is being given to leave the political commons crucible by those fleeing MPs, except the obvious one, of they are likely to be comprehensively ejected by their voters if they do stand. And now the Tories need to cast about for replacements, people who are prepared to face the voter backlash instead. People prepared to pound the streets and meet some very disgruntled voters as they try to establish themselves. And far from being a benefit to them as it has in the past, they might find the blue rosette more like an anchor holding them down. Then there's the matter of helpers and supporters. How many of those will be prepared to go out delivering leaflets if Rishi Sunak is still in number 10? Now the PM knows that if he pulled the trigger on a snap general election today, he'd probably end up with about 100 MPs. But if he gambles and holds on until the end of 2024, then if things have panned out well for him, he might get 150 seats. But if they don't, it'll be nearer 50. And this is what happens when your support base suddenly realises that the party they voted for does not do what it said on the tin. When they rumble you for filling the ranks of government with socialists. And after Javid's recent reply of "so what" on Twitter to concerns that Nigel Farage raised, many social media commenters are replying to Javid's decision to stand down with a sarky "so what" of their own. So unless the centre-right can get its act together and put forward an offering that really appeals to voters, it looks like we're in for a decade of Labour. Although much of the last decade has felt like that anyway. But with Labour, there will be more punishing of enterprise and growth, more net zero, but now on steroids, more borrowing, more tax, especially for anyone who's put some aside, more spending, and of course Brexit under threat. And wealth and windfall taxes will abound. Now there used to be a saying about the army, if it moves, salute it, if it doesn't, paint it white. Well, we're ushering in an age of, if it moves, tax it, and if it doesn't, give it the money. And talking about tax, it seems that a technical glitch has hit the excise man. If you want to get hold of HMRC right now to discuss your tax affairs before submitting your annual tax return due by the end of January, you will find that the system is down. HMRC has been forced to shut down all its lines and some of its online services. And according to reports, it can't say when normal business will be resumed. Now I wonder if HMRC will waive fines for those that are forced to file their returns late due to this gremlin. Fat chance. More likely a way of getting more dosh into the coffers. Now the Charity Commission has opened up a top-level inquiry into the controversial charity Mermaids. This is a statutory inquiry into newly identified issues concerning the charity's governance and management. In a statement, the government said the Charity Commission had opened a regulatory compliance case into the charity in September 2022 after safeguarding allegations were raised. It has now formalised its engagement by opening a statutory inquiry due to newly identified issues about the charity's governance and management. It went on to say that although the trustees of Mermaids had fully cooperated with the initial inquiry, they had not made responses that provided the necessary reassurance or satisfied the Commission. And they will be looking into the administration, governance, management, leadership and culture of the charity, as well as checking if there has been any misconduct or mismanagement by the trustees and whether they had sufficient oversight of the charity's activities. Now, a lot of people have been concerned about the activities of this organisation, and they will welcome the spotlight being thrown on it. And the cost of living crisis is now really beginning to bite. Data from ClearScore, collected from 20,000 ClearScore users who opted in to link their accounts via open banking, shows that overdraft use in the UK has increased by 7.1% since August 2021. And during that time frame, the cost of essentials such as rent, groceries, bills and fuel has increased by 25%. But wage growth over that period is quoted as 10%. Although many people will not have seen that. But based on that 10%, the ClearScore data shows that the essential spend has increased by 6% as a proportion of wages. ClearScore also conducted a survey with 2,000 people, and 1 in 4 of them said they are likely to be relying more on their overdrafts over the next 6 months. And 52% of those surveyed said they were concerned about their finances over the next 6 months. 23% said they were not confident about their job security. 24% said they were not confident about their ability to pay the rent or mortgage. And 27% said they did not feel confident about managing to pay their household bills. And Forbes Advisor says that more Brits are turning to buy now, pay later deals as the cost of living crisis deepens. And it says that 70% of BNPL shoppers have been using these services more frequently in the last 6 months. And it is young people, the so-called Generation Z, who are using these the most, says Forbes. And worryingly, it says that BNPL companies are targeting the young when they shop for fashion and lifestyle products. And nearly half of young people also claim they've been targeted by online BNPL ads. The appeal that young people can access immediate credit with minimal checks and little credit history has played a big role in the rise of buy now, pay later platforms, says Forbes. This does not bode well for the future if people are prepared to put more and more fashion and lifestyle stuff on the never in the face of rising interest rates. And Forbes says that 1/3 of those surveyed are using BNPL to make purchases outside their budget, and 1/4 are turning to BNPL after having credit card applications refused. And in the lead up to Christmas, it must be so tempting for some to overdo it in order to have that perfect festive season. But sadly, many of them will end up facing their own personal credit crunch. And finally, when subscribing, please don't forget to press that little bell and also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. And thank you all so much for taking the time to watch the show.